So last we studied limit cycles, how we can identify limit cycles using phase plane portrait. Fine. We'll move towards stability, and we'll be studying Lyapunov stability. So Lyapunov stability analysis actually helps us determine the type of, it actually helps us also understanding the behavior of a nonlinear system, Lyapunov theory rather, and from that comes actually the Lyapunov stability and Lyapunov stability, and we can understand also if the system is stable or not. So there are some things that we need to uh, study before we understand Lyapunov stability. So we have been discussing the space model, the differential model, nonlinear differential equation model represented by x dot equal to f of xt for a nonlinear system, and where this function will actually be a nonlinear function of x and t. And now, depending upon whether your system is time dependent or time invariant, we can differentiate the systems into autonomous or non-autonomous systems, right? So we actually have here x dot equal to f of xt, uh, where x will represent a state vector, and their nonlinear differential equation may or may not be dependent upon the time t, right? Uh, so depending upon the order of the system state vectors, you will have the number of state trajectories. For example, for n equal to 1, for an order 1, we'll be having uh, certain number of trajectories of the system. For n equal to 2, we'll be having trajectories associated with two different state vectors. Fine. So we actually already drawn those profiles for x1 versus x2 for a second order system. We are understanding how we can relate that with respect to how we can actually identify whether a system is stable using these equations or not. Also, if we have a closed loop system, this is your state space model of your differential equation of an open loop model. जैसे हमने state feedback matrix भी किया था, then we had found out that for a state feedback control system, your Carret's equation from Si minus A, it becomes Si minus A plus Bk. So there will be a control law associated with this system, and that law will also here be that may or may not be a non-linear function of your state vectors. Fine. So ultimately your closed loop system model will become x dot equal to f of x u t, where u will itself be a function of your state vectors and time. फाइन, जैसे हमने वहाँ पे किया था u इज इक्वल टू आर माइनस के एक्स, ठीक है। स्टेट फीडबैक कंट्रोल लूप में जैसे हमने देखा था, योर u was r minus kx for a non-homogeneous system, and for a homogeneous system your u was equal to minus k times x. Fine. So since this is also a function of x and t, you can again boil this down to f equal to x t, ठीक है, f dash x t, where f dash is now a different function of x and t from f of x t, ठीक है। And a special case of this is x dot equal to ax, ठीक है, जैसे हमने जो हमें ऑलरेडी पता है for a linear systems, you have linear differential equations equal that will be governed by x dot equal to ax, and for the linear differential equations we know that stability can be easily found out by finding out the eigenvalues of a system. In short, we are first trying to define the equation, the nonlinear equation that we'll be using for analyzing the behavior, for analyzing the stability of a system. Now your equation is not simply x dot equal to ax, you have a system x dot equal to f dash of x t. Okay, so you have a nonlinear differential equation that is dependent upon x, that is dependent upon time, and you have to find out whether your system, whether your this equation is stable or not. ठीक है, ऐसे हमने पढ़ा था in linear systems we had studied time variant and time invariant systems. So we had identified those systems as time invariant, wherein the parameters of the system do not change with respect to time. If they do change with respect to time, your system is a time variant system. But more in general, uh, we'll be identifying now the system as autonomous and non-autonomous system. So if you have your system that is actually dependent upon the values of time, and your parameters are dependent on the value of parameters, your parameters are time varying in nature, then your system is non-autonomous. A non-linear system will be called an autonomous system if it does not depend your explicitly on time t. Right? That is, if your system equations are actually independent of your time, that means your non-linear differential equation will simply be x dot equal to f of x, then your system is referred to as an autonomous system. That means it is time invariant. Your parameters of the system are actually time invariant, but we'll now be calling these systems as autonomous systems in nonlinear. Uh, in as While we are speaking about nonlinear systems, we'll be calling these systems as autonomous systems, not time invariant systems. Uh, for every other case, your state space models, your differential equations will be dependent upon time t. That means the parameters of the system will be dependent upon time t. Not talking about the system states. Your parameters of the system, whether they are time dependent or time independent, accordingly you call them as autonomous systems or as non-autonomous systems. So obviously these linear time invariant systems, you can say autonomous systems or nothing, time invariant systems are nothing but autonomous systems, and time variant systems are nothing but uh, non-autonomous systems. Right? Now we have studied equations of Van der Waals equations uh, or other equations. Some of them were autonomous, some of them were non-autonomous in nature. Uh, if we talk about, I have already talked about this previously also. Ideally speaking, no physical system is autonomous. All physical systems are non-autonomous because there will be some variation in the parameters will be varying with respect to time the system as the system is up and running. Your system parameters will change with respect to time. अब जहाँ पे ये change बहुत slow होगा, negligible होगा, we can neglect it and we say this system is time invariant. But practically speaking, all systems, they are actually time varying in nature, and the parameters of the system do change with respect to time. So this property will be more dominant in case of non-linear systems uh, as compared to linear systems. Now, as I also discussed about this equation x dot equal to f dash of xt, it's comprised of two equations, f of xt and u of xt. So now this can be आपका सिस्टम ऑटोनमस होगा, ठीक है, आपका कंट्रोल लॉ नॉन ऑटोनमस है, जिसकी वजह से आपका जो ओवरऑल क्लोज लूप सिस्टम है दैट बिकम्स नॉन ऑटोनमस. और इट कैन बी अ केस वेयर योर सिस्टम इज autonomous, non-autonomous, and your control law is autonomous. the overall system again becomes non-autonomous. Fine. So we are when we are talking about non-autonomous systems, we are will be now referring to closed loop dynamics of the system, not open loop dynamics of the system. So this is one discussion that will be leading towards stability. Second thing is we'll be now trying to derive. We have talked about a lot about equilibrium points. We'll be seeing now what these equilibrium points, how they can be derived, how many equilibrium points can exist for a system. We'll now try to be seeing these things. Okay, so we are discussing autonomous systems and non-autonomous systems. We already know difference between a linear system and a non-linear system, autonomous systems and non-autonomous systems. Now we'll be calling time invariant and time variant systems. We'll be referring to them as autonomous systems and non-autonomous systems uh, in case of non-linear dynamics. Fine. Next, we'll be discussing first equilibrium points. We are actually trying to build up how to find out the stability of a system using Lyapunov criteria. There are actually three things here. One is the phase plane analysis, second one is the Lyapunov analysis, and third one is the describing function analysis. So we will be studying three types of analysis to see how the system behaves and how we can determine whether a system is stable or not, which points are stable or not. Fine. So far, phase plane analysis, we saw how we can draw the portrait of a second order system and how we can analyze which singular points will be stable, which will be unstable, stable, focus, node, center, and saddles. We studied that. Uh, we are studying Lyapunov analysis. In Lyapunov analysis, before studying the definition of Lyapunov stability criterion, we are trying to build it up. So we'll first see how to derive equilibrium points now in a system. Okay, so I have been talking about this a lot. We substitute x dot equal to 0 and find out the values of x1, x2, xn, say for example, and see how many equilibrium points can be in a system. So you can have a different system trajectories. You can have a single equilibrium point in the system. You can have multiple equilibrium points in the system. But all the systems trajectories will either converge towards that equilibrium point or diverge from that equilibrium point. So these single points from which the system trajectories converge or diverge, or course, if it's a system, it's possible for a system trajectory to correspond to only a single point also. Fine. So these points will be referred to as equilibrium points. Now some of these equilibrium points will be stable, some of these equilibrium points will be unstable. Now what is a equilibrium point, or it will actually be that state of the system wherein this system will continue to remain for the future for infinite duration of time. ठीक है, ये definition भी आपको मैं already बताई हुई है. That equilibrium point refers to that point wherein your system will tend to remain for infinite duration of time unless and otherwise disturbed. ठीक है. A state x star will be an equilibrium state it's an equilibrium point, or it's an equilibrium state of a system A state x star t will be an equilibrium state or an equilibrium point of a system. If at this point the system state it will remain it remains equal to x star a state x star t will be an equilibrium point or a state equilibrium state of a system if once point xt reaches x star t it will remain at x star t for all future amount of time ठीक है इसके बाद आपका सिस्टम एक्चुअली इसी स्टेट में रहेगा हमेशा के लिए दैट मीन्स इफ इट इज कांस्टेंट the mathematically that means that the derivative of the system will be equal to 0 at this point. So that means f of x star will be equal to 0. X dot t is equal to f of x star. That means this will be equal to 0 once we obtain this system state. Now if you see with respect to a linear system, x dot equal to ax, fine. That means for a linear system, x dot equal to 0 implies ax is equal to 0 unless A is a singular matrix, x will be equal to 0 means the origin. Okay? X is a vector here. That means x1 is 0, x2 is 0, x3 is 0, xn is 0. So for an n dimensional state space, n dimensional space, all the states of the system are 0. All the states of a system are 0. That basically refers to an equilibrium point for a linear system. For a linear system, the equilibrium point is basically the origin 0. But if A is singular, then in that case, there can be a number of other equilibrium points which will be contained within the null space of this matrix. Okay? So all those matrices will actually be you can have x1 0, you cannot have x2 0, you may have different values of x2 x3 up to xn. Some points may be 0, some may not be 0. All of those subsets will basically refer then to a will refer to the equilibrium states of the system. For A equal to 0, for if A is non-singular, for a linear system, the equilibrium point is an origin. But if A is a singular matrix, that means basically it will refer to a non-controllable system. In that case, you can have a number of equilibrium points. So associated with this, you can also say now for a controllable system, for a controllable linear system, the number of equilibrium point is basically the origin of a system. For a non-controllable linear system, you may have number of other equilibrium points that will be decided by you can have different values of different states and accordingly see which system कौन से इक्विलिब्रियम पॉइंट से ठीक है कोई ना कोई एक स्टेट आपका उस टाइम पे बेसिकली जीरो की तरह रेफर कर रहा होगा. Let's look at an example. Let's take a pendulum. You have a pendulum of mass m. It is hanging by a thread of radius or of length r. It can move a distance of g. So the dynamic model of this system is given by mr square theta double dot, the nonlinear equation of the system, plus b theta dot, the damping coefficient, plus mgr sine theta is equal to 0. Okay? We can basically find out the different forces acting on the system, balance those forces, and you'll get to this equation where b is the damping coefficient and g the friction coefficient rather, and g is the gravity. Fine. So you have here you have this pendulum of mass m that's hanging by this needle and it's moving along this direction. So we can uh, assume, let's consider two system states here, x1 equal to theta and x2 equal to theta dot. X2 equal to theta dot means x1 dot. Fine. So x1 dot is not actually equal to x2, and therefore solving for this equation we'll get x2 dot equal to that's theta double dot. X1 dot is x2. X2 dot will be equal to minus b x2 plus minus mgr sine x1 divided by m square. Yeah. So you have x1 dot, you have given x2 dot. You can also try and derive the phase portrait of the system. You want to see how many equilibrium points exist for this system. For that you will substitute to calculate the equilibrium points. We understand equilibrium points is those points, states of the system where the system will tend to remain for infinite duration of time. That means differential of this is actually equal to 0. That means x1 dot is equal to 0, which implies for this case x2 will be 0 and x2 dot is equal to 0, which implies minus b by mr square x2 minus g by r sine of x1 is equal to 0. x2 to already 0 hai, that means minus g by r sine x1 equal to 0, which implies sine of x1 equal to 0. So that means x1 can be 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, short, plus minus n pi. Fine. So therefore you will be having different values of x1 and for x2 you have a single point, that's x2 is equal to 0. So your equilibrium points here will be your equilibrium points are 0, 0, pi 0, 2 pi 0, you can even have minus pi 0, okay? So on. You can simply state plus minus n pi 0, where n runs from n is any natural number. Fine. So for this system, for this pendulum, you have infinite number of equilibrium points, and you have to verify for each and every equilibrium point whether this equilibrium point is stable, whether this equilibrium point is unstable. Okay, so accordingly you can also decide for different initial conditions whether any initial condition of the system is stable or not. तो जब आप actually pendulum देखोगे, there might be some initial condition of the system from which the system will actually behave unstably, and that does not happen for a linear system. So in linear system analysis, what you have simply seen is we have a single equilibrium point most of the cases for a controllable system, and that's actually the origin of the state space. But for a non-linear system, this is not possible. You have different equilibrium points, and for each equilibrium point, you have to identify whether or not your system is stable. Okay? So some hint I had already given you how uh, we actually what we do here is to understand stability, we transform all of these state vectors from their location and we try to shift it towards the origin by defining another state vector. Say for example z dash, we define it such that we will be able to transform that particular state, that particular equilibrium point to the origin, so that analysis becomes easy. Okay? So understanding the stability at the origin is easier as compared to understanding the stability at any other equilibrium point. Okay? So yeah, just say for example two-dimensional matrix. In this case, you have found that your equilibrium point may be the origin. It may be pi 0, it may be 2 pi 0, 3 pi 0, or minus pi 0, minus 2 pi. So for each and every state, what you will do is you will define another state vector. So for example z, you can define w, such that all these state vectors can be transferred to the origin. Right? You will define a new state vector x, z, w, u, v, whatever, so that you can transfer these equilibrium points to the origin. Once these equilibrium points are transferred to the origin, we can analyze the behavior of each and every state vector, whether it is x, z, w, whatever, around the equilibrium point, so that our analysis becomes easier to understand. We have studied about autonomous systems, non-autonomous systems. We have discussed a little bit about equilibrium points. In the next class, give the we'll actually state what is the Lyapunov theorem. Okay, Lyapunov stability theorem. We'll study that in the next class.